But like I know you well enough to know you wouldn't want to just walk straight in through the gang and would actually rather do it in the same process that everyone else has done. And I think it would be good for you to start off like in that process if you would want to.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, no, I don't see any problem with that. Did you mean like what? So somebody would vouch for me? Is that what you mean?
So like it's kind of up to a member of the group and then you also to make it known to someone. Like if say there was a specific person you were like, I low-key would like to be working with them, express that you want to be in the group and that they could be your vouch. Or alternatively, like I'll tell people like the situation. I'm pretty sure there's not going to be anyone that wouldn't want to have you as their vouch. Let's not lie.
Yeah, that's
I
what
think you're probably the least risky person to have as a vouch. Like the likelihood of you doing some shit that's going to get them kicked from the gang is basically 0.5. You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, I'll be honest, it's 0.
It kind of comes up to preference, really. Like, obviously, from the people in the gang and then also you, because I'm sure you'll have multiple options. But I wanted to pitch it to you so you can kind of feel it out and see like how you would like to go about it. If there's someone you specifically would want to do it with, or if you just want to sit and wait and see who like approaches you.
So, what's the? So it's still like a hang around process, but instead you get vouched for by one person.
Yeah. So instead of it being a group meeting and be like, is this person going to be a hang around and everyone gets a vote? It's if one person vouches, we trust our gang members like vouch enough that means that they're just in as a hang around. Like it's not going to be called a hang around, but they're basically cleared to be around off of that one person's vouch if approved by me as the.
Okay. So what's the criteria, and then so what would be the criteria? What does that person then have to do to become a manor, to become a member? So what's the criteria look like for?
So that kind of should be, in a sense, a path that's helped by the person who's vouched for you. Like it's a big job for the person that's vouched to make sure they're communicating what you need to do to get in. Realistically, for you, it will just be being involved in what we're doing. Like comes down to jobs. Like if you want to get involved with a heist or you've got like business ideas or any you usually do, like just helpful shit, right? Like as long as you're doing that, you make it in. And then the way it would work is when the vouch thinks they're worth being a full member, the vouch could come to me and be like, I think it's time you, like this guy should be a full member. And then we could be like, oh no, it's too soon. Or we might be like, yeah, okay. And then make it happen. Because we're also going into like a more specific roles thing where there's going to be like heads of like operations. So there's going to be like finances, armory, pharmaceuticals, jog my memory, what's the fourth one?
What do you say? Finances?
I said armory, finances, pharmaceuticals,
Heists,
and business.
So, and what's like what's the criteria for that? So there'll be one person that would be in charge of finance, and then they would control the gang finances, and everyone else would answer to them in regards to it, like that kind of stuff.
So it's kind of essentially what it would be like is whoever heists, say heist lead, they would be responsible for making sure that X amount of money is brought in through heists. They would also like make sure that people are doing like good plans. They would be involved in heists themselves. Like say no one had done a maze bank in a certain amount of time. They'd be like, right, you lot need to go do a maze bank, like set up a cool plan, do one, like let me know when you've done it, get the cash. And then the heads of all the departments would communicate it to each other because the heist person would need to speak to the finances person to get the money into the laundromat, right, from the jobs. And then the armory person would need to communicate to the finances to work out how much money they've got to buy mags and stuff like that. So less of like, I'm in charge of heists, you must all do what I say, and more like so that me and Steve can go, all right, we need to keep an eye on heists. Let's have a meeting with the heist guy, see how they've been getting on. It's more like they're the person like oversees it instead of like outright being the leader of heists. So they're just responsible for making sure everything's done properly.
Yeah, I get that.
But we've said that is open to like what we would have used to call hangarounds and members. Like we're not going to differentiate who can have the roles. We basically told everyone what the roles are and said work for the roles, anyone can get them. So at the moment lots of people are like trying to like put in work in what their lane is to get the role.
Okay, I suppose from my point of view, obviously I like to be busy, you know. I like to have a bit of a challenge, you know, and I like to just always busy. I just always be doing something, right? So obviously my interest in joining the manor isn't just to the beer, you know. It isn't just come and stand on the block and take part.
I mean, realistically, you would like if given the right circumstance, like you could very easily have a role in something. Just depends on what you want your day-to-day to look like, and like if you end up outperforming the other people who want the same role, or there's some roles that I think, as far as I'm aware, don't even have anyone who's trying at the moment.
So,
Heists, I think there's a lot of people doing.
Yeah, I'll
like
be honest.
Matt,
I think that's not
Luke,
really.
They all want the high stuff.
Yeah.
James is kind of locked in on the armory stuff. I think Clive wants to be involved on the armory stuff. Kai's been kind of gunning for the like money wash and the finances side of things. Then you've got GG, who's been interested in business. Aiko said money wash as well, right, Steve? Like the whole.
I don't think she picked one.
She said finances. She said two, because she definitely said business, but she said another one as well, but I can't remember what it was. I don't think anyone's vocalized interest in pharmaceuticals
Finn has.
yet.
Finn has.
Oh yeah, Finn wanted to do drugs because he's very like big on oxy and stuff like that. But I know in Heist as well, what started to happen, which I kind of don't mind, is, for example, Luke and Matt both wanted to work for this Heist role, but they had a conversation and kind of said, I think it'll be better if we work together rather than against each other. So they're kind of doing things like helping each other with shit, which is not obviously not off the table. Like if two people are absolutely killing it doing a role, then there's no reason why they can't both work together on it.
Yeah, no, that's understandable, right? If there's enough interest, we're not going to shut somebody down and just kill, what they're about.
If someone's like miles better and they're carrying it, and then the other guy's just tagging along, then obviously only one of them's gonna get the role. But if they're genuinely both like doing well, then there's no reason why there can't be two people.
The head of each position as well will be able to like bring in people that they trust and want involved on shit too. It's like Kai, for example, if he ends up being like head of finances, he's going to be organizing money runs and shit. He could bring in like Bones and DJ so they can help him out. So if he's not around, shit still moves. But it's up to them to pick those people, because if then it's not done right, it falls back on them.
Yeah,
I think
there is a lot of there is responsibility with it. Like it is a role of authority. It's just not like it's a role of authority without being them saying, I control heists. No one else can have a say in what goes on with their heists.
Yeah, I think my main thing is just having enough to do,
Yeah, I think a role would occupy your time. Depends what one though, to be honest.
Yeah, I could honestly sit here and say I wouldn't be 100% sure what I'd necessarily be interested in, right? Like, because I suppose from the pharmaceutical aspect, the business aspect, the finance aspect, that's something that I've kind of solo ran in the old gang, for the best part of a year. So I suppose diversifying into one of them is, would be something that I suppose even I'd have to work on, seeing as I was doing it all, Yeah,
you'd have to find a way to I feel like any of the roles could occupy all your time. It's just you'd have to like for example with the farmer, like if say I was going to become head of pharmaceuticals, I'd want to recruit an oxy crew underneath that, and then a weed crew, and so you've always got different shit going on. And I know you're good for stuff like that, so I honestly think any of them could occupy your full time. It's just finding ways to make it not just be, all right, wake up, make sure the growers growing their weed.
I think personally, pharma would probably suit you the best, because it's not just weed baggies and oxy. It's basically any sort of quote unquote drug substance that can make us money, all the way down to moonshine. Obviously, you need to do a bit of moonshine for oxy, but I get good moonshine, that kind of shit.
There's also licenses now. I don't know if you saw the state announcement earlier, but there's
you
can legally brew.
Yeah, so I'm in talks with Junior about actually opening a brewery, just so that's kind of there on paper. The only issue with legally brewing is you can only have 5 stills per brewery.
Right.
So obviously there would be the aspect of it being a legal brewery, and then what I thought is you can in the north of the city it's completely legal to cook moonshine. But please don't search for stills in the north.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Basically, if you wanted to run a big moonshine up, just do it up north.
Pretty much, yeah. But I mean, I think I'm more of the, we've let's be honest, we've all been here and done it. We've all operated things and we've ran, businesses, and we've been super careful, and we've done stuff without ever, being within an inch of the sun, right? But I'm much rather now, kind of in, I suppose, my older age, I would rather run a brewery, right in the face of everybody in the city. Yeah, we own this legal brewery.
It's almost a bit more gangster to have some shit like that, right?
So at the same time, right, I'm cooking on five legal stills, right? But then up north I have, another 20 illegal stills placed. all that illegal moonshine's coming into the brewery, being distributed through the brewery, right? So it's a bit of a extra profit on the side. Just make sure it's done properly to the point where people can come and investigate, but we're not leaving too much for them to find.
I like it. Kind of why I got expunged. It just makes shit more fun when you like, I like the
100%.
idea that cops kind of know that you're doing shit, but they can't prove it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, so I'm not expunged right now, but I haven't been caught for a crime in over 6 months. Obviously, Eugene's running for Mayor of the North. And he's given me a position in his cabinet. Realistically, I'll see what I can do with that. But, I don't think it's going to be something I'll necessarily want to do long term. I'm not even getting expunged unless he wins. It's just, I would like to, I'll do everything I can, expunged as a clean citizen, which I don't think would take me very long, experience a bit of a different side of life like you're doing. And then, inevitably it'll come back to the choice of whether do I, get my hands dirty again, which, is always easier said than done, but I don't think I'd remain clean forever,
Yeah. All right. So you just need to see who you end up being with them.
So
I would say just do it naturally.
I'm gonna be completely honest, unless it's kind of made known, that I'm available to be part of that process. I think there's a lot of people that are just under kind of the assumption that, I think you've probably heard them, and Steve's definitely heard them, like, oh, when are you joining? When are you joining? That kind of stuff, right? So,
No, I'm gonna tell everyone, because otherwise it's gonna be you like what you're saying. I will tell everyone, because then they can just come up, like people can approach you. And
He's going to get approached by about 4 different people in the space of 30 seconds. That being said,
100%.
Aiko and Matt being 2 of them for sure.
Matt will.
Aiko was
can
willing to get
imagine.
back with Keo just to get Denzel in the gang, and she has a wife, so just for context of how eager she is on that to happen. She was going to break up with him 30 seconds later, but she was still going to go through with it.
then he would have killed me.
Yep. Well, then you would have had Manor backing. All part of the plan.
That don't
So-
mean
so-
a lot these days. You're getting packed up by ADMC.
So you guys are going separate ways.
He has to see if he's lost weight, I guess.
Running to say that way was quickest. I'll be honest. He's definitely doing that. He's gonna be like, oh, he's gonna be stood by the car wash. So can everybody vouch? So who's
So Terry's had 3 different people vouch for him.
Aiko removed
you just wanna say
her
you can-
vouch for him.
Oh, she
Who
did.
was?
Yeah, because I said, the last person that vouched for Terry was Dre, and she was like, oh, I take it back.
But you know what? That is actually good that whole thing happened, because it shows that vouching for Terry comes with serious repercussions. Like,
Yep.
you gotta. The thing, like, genuinely though, I do believe he's gonna be a bit different to what he was.
Yeah, well, I mean, I spoke to DJ about it, and emphasized the risks, and
I'm not gonna lie. When the 3 of them came forward, as soon as I heard it, I already wanted to put him with DJ.
oh yeah, anyone else that's not.
Because the thing is with DJ, is he's someone that cares about doing everything so right and not f***ing up within the gang. Putting him with someone like Terry, like, he's genuinely gonna be pressed if Terry does something that's gonna f his rep. You know what I mean?
Putting him with D could be a recipe for disaster.
Oh, that's never happening. I was never gonna let that fucking
No.
happen. There was a
Terry.
couple of weeks.
DJ.
Aiko and DJ, but Aiko's retracted hers.
So if you was gonna be, you're gonna tell people I'm gonna have like a queue.
Oh, you'll see.
Does everybody get to have someone? Is that like the whole idea?
Yeah, obviously they won't. But me and SK still have to approve their vouch before they're
So
hang around.
you guys don't get to have someone. You just get to approve other people.
No, we could have somebody.